Hey everyone, welcome to On The Go with Joe. You join me here today at the Natural History Museum in London. This is definitely one of the best museums in central London, if not the entire world in my opinion. I've been coming here since I was a very small boy, as a young kid obsessed with dinosaurs and mammals and all sorts of critters. Then there's really one of the best places you can go to is the Natural History Museum in London. So yeah, they have loads of temporary exhibitions on here, so every time you come here there's normally something different to see. A really good one that they have every single year is the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. Some epic pictures every single year at that exhibition. It's not on the moment, we did miss it this year, however they do have a great temporary exhibition on the moment about birds, so we're going to go check that out, see what that's like, and then tour some of the exhibition halls today. So thanks for joining me.
Before you even go into the museum though, you have to take in the grandeur of this building. It's an old Gothic style Victorian building, and in my opinion it has to be one of the prettiest buildings in central London. Okay, so I've just come through the entrance on Exhibition Road, and immediately you are greeted by this incredible Stegosaurus skeleton, and behind that you've got the escalator which normally takes you up through the planet core, and then that whole floor is sort of dedicated to understanding about the Earth, tectonic plates, earthquakes, volcanoes. It wasn't functioning today, sadly, so we did skip that, but normally absolutely worth a visit. Really cool stuff up there. Now we're going to check out Birds Brilliant and Bizarre, which is a temporary exhibition they've got running here from the 24th of May right through the 5th of January. This exhibition is very different. It's very audible. They have sounds of birds playing. It's very tactile as well. They have casts of all these different bird beaks here, like you can see flamingos, crows, hornbills. So you can really feel the differences between all of them and what they use them for. Yeah, very cool. It is really incredible, though, learning about all these different birds. Like this is one which I knew very little about, the Sphinx macaw. It's actually extinct in the wild now, but they play dead by laying on their backs, which a very creative way of avoiding trouble. But yeah, I didn't know that. And they've got loads of other things here as well, like the cassowary, which is one of the most dangerous birds in the world. You don't want to be annoying a cassowary, that's for sure. They've got massive claws on their feet. It's very peaceful in this exhibition as well. They have all these projections going on of birds flying, and you can see the patterns that they fly around with. It's very nice just to sit down and take it all in and hear all the sounds that they make and all these projections. Okay, so we just left the bird exhibition there, and we've walked into the bird hall. So this isn't part of the exhibition, this is their standard bird exhibit. Very, very cool exhibit though. Really allows you to see all the differences between the different species of birds out there. So you can see here all the parrots and toucans. We've got a taxidermed ostrich here, and really, really allows you to see all how the birds have evolved differently. They've even got a couple of taxidermed dodos here, so if you've ever wondered what a dodo looks like, look no further than the Natural History Museum. You can come and see a couple of them here. And then we've just now moved into one of the halls where they house loads of different ichthyosaur skeletons, and you're greeted immediately by this giant Megatherium, giant ground sloth skeleton they've got here posed up. But this is a really, really amazing hall they've got here. It's loads of fossilized ichthyosaurs, of pilosaurs, all these marine reptiles from long ago. And what I loved seeing about this is you can see all the ammonites that are sort of embedded within the skeleton as they've been sort of compacted together. And this one really is really impressive. You can see the size of the animal here as well. Like there's some scale for you. There's the gentleman there standing behind it, but really, really, really cool exhibition here. And now we're entering in possibly the most spectacular room in the entire museum. This is Hintz Hall. It is sort of like what the museum is known for. It's the main atrium where they have this incredible blue whale skeleton posed up above. It used to be the home of a Diplodocus skeleton for many, many years, over 30 years. But in 2017, they renovated the hall, and they have now put this blue whale skeleton suspended from the ceiling in play instead. The whale itself is called Hope, and it washed ashore, I believe, in the 1890s in Ireland, and they sold the skeleton to the museum. It used to hang in the mammal hall here, which we'll show you later on in a bit. But yeah, in 2017, they decided they're going to put this into the main hall here. It was a juvenile blue whale, but at 25 meters long, it's still enormous, as you can see. Yeah, I think just as a way to enter the atrium here, and there's no better way to be greeted. And up here on the first floor, they have an entire exhibition around geology and looking at gemstones and rocks, minerals and stalactites, and it's really, really cool to see all the different formations of the rocks. They've got these cutaways of them so you can see what they look like inside. And they've even got a vault there in the back where they could show you more precious gemstones like diamonds and emeralds and things like that. The vault was actually closed today, but definitely worth touring around and seeing all the different types of rocks. They're very, very pretty, and yeah, you get to learn about how they were formed as well, which is very, very cool. And this is one of my absolute favourite exhibitions in the museum. It's a giant sequoia tree cutaway that was felled. And what I love about this exhibit is that not only do you get to see the scale of the actual tree itself, but they've got almost like a scale of different things that have happened throughout human lifetimes. So you can see how old the tree was. So if you look from the middle, all these different rings that were added, you've got at the top there the dawn of civilization, right through to Leonardo da Vinci creating various different things. Yeah, draws ideas for a human-powered flying machine there, right through to Charles Darwin publishing The Origin of Species. So this entire tree is over 1,000 years old, 1,335 years when it was felled. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so we're now entering the part of the museum that 10-year-old me loved the most. This is the dinosaur hall. And they've got so many different skeletons in here. You can see up there you're greeted by a Triceratops skull and a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull. And I think really the key thing about this museum, the thing that is known for most, is the animatronic T-Rex that they've got here. This is a 3/4 scale T-Rex, and yeah, it moves, it growls, it even smells as well in this room. And yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see it moving around. They posed it in a whole diorama. They've got a carcass on the floor that it's been eating there. It can get quite popular in this room, so on a weekend like you join me today, you can sometimes wait a little bit of time to see it, but that queue really moves quite quickly, so you shouldn't be waiting too long. And yeah, it's an absolute must-do at the museum, especially if you've got kids. They will be transfixed on seeing this thing here. And they actually have these animatronic raptors here as well, which weren't functioning today, but again, they're very, very interesting to see. A bit terrifying looking, actually. Okay, so we now left the dinosaurs and we've headed on into the blue zone in the museum, which is all about today's modern alive animals. So you can see here in the mammal hall, you've got some marsupials here. Definite highlight of this section here is the Tasmanian tiger that they've got here, which again, they're now extinct and have been for many, many years. So very, very interesting to see one of those in the flesh, or in taxidermy, that is. And yeah, it's really, really interesting to see all the different types of mammals, and you get to, when they're all together here, you get to see all the differences in how they've evolved. Some of the skins here, they are a bit faded now, because just due to the age really of the specimens that they've got here. But I'd rather have our older specimens, obviously, than go out there and be hunting new ones just for the sake of us seeing them. So, but you get a sense of scale of how big these animals are, the lions and the tigers, and how big they are. And yeah, I think they're just awesome to see, especially so close here. You get to stare a jaguar in the eye here. And they've got some bears too, and they've even got a polar bear here, which is the largest living carnivore currently alive today on land. And you really get a sense of the scale when you're standing right next to one here. Really, really cool. Okay, so we now got into the whale hall here. This is where the Hope skeleton that we saw earlier, the blue whale that currently sits in the main hall, the Hinz hall, used to be hanging up here, but they've got a life-size model of a blue whale here as well, and it is absolutely enormous. It spans the entire length of the hall, and they've got loads of other whale skeletons here as well, and this is where they keep sort of the specimens of the larger land mammals as well. So you've got hippopotamuses here, you've got elephants here. And they've got a really cool suspension from the ceiling of loads of different types of dolphins. So you can see there in the background there, they've got orca, they've got belugas. And yeah, really, really interesting to see all the different types of dolphins together. There's the orca up there. You've even got some mammoth tusks here as well, some fossilised mammoth tusks. You can see them, how they're curved up there. They're really, really interesting to see, especially compared to modern elephants. And here they've got some taxidermed rhinos, but they've actually removed the horns from the rhinos because that's one of the reasons why rhinos are so endangered in the wild, is because they're hunted for their horns for medicinal purposes, even though they've been proven to have no value whatsoever in terms of medicine. They don't do anything. So it's really, really sad to see that these amazing animals have been hunted really for no reason whatsoever.
And that was the Natural History Museum. I've now just fled into Hyde Park, where it's a little bit quieter, a bit more tranquil, so I can do a bit of a debrief. Still a great museum, always will be. You can't change my mind about that. I've been going there since I was a very small child, and I still love it every single time. Very busy day today. It's a Sunday here in central London, so that normally drives the attendance up at that museum. If you go on a weekday, normally it's very, very quiet. Just a few tourists around really, but on a weekend, yeah, it drives attendance up. All the exhibitions are great as ever. I mean, they don't really change the main ones, the static ones. But how was the birds exhibition today? So birds, it was interesting, definitely. Like in terms of the actual cost of it, it cost £16.50 the exhibition, plus a donation on the top of that for the museum as well. And is it worth the money? In terms of the overall experience, I don't think it's worth quite that much, but when you factor in that the museum is totally free, the rest of the museum, you get to enjoy all those exhibitions for no cost at all. And then if you just want to see a special exhibition like the bird one, it costs that much. Personally, in my book, I don't mind paying for that, because ultimately it goes towards the museum. It gets to keep all these amazing exhibitions going for other people to enjoy. Obviously, they rely on donations at this museum anyway, so I don't mind paying a bit extra for that exhibition, just because I know it goes into the museum and keeps that place running. Definitely put it on your bucket list of things to do if you're visiting London. I would definitely recommend it. You know, even if you're visiting London for the weekend, you live in the UK, definitely a museum worth doing. Highly recommend it. And yeah, thanks for joining me along today. I'll see you on the next episode.